Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we want to talk about 10 challenges phone accessory owners are facing in Nigeria and beyond other African countries. And you know the surprising part, not everyone who are into this business will even come out to tell you all these challenges, but it is best if you are coming to this channel today to continue to watch this video till the end, because everything I am going to be explaining today in this video is experience, is what I have actually seen it. I've actually seen a lot of people complaining about these challenges. So it's very important that if you are coming to this channel, or if you are an old subscriber, keep watching the video till the end, because I'll be explaining it one after the other, the 10 challenges a lot of phone accessory owners are facing in Nigeria and beyond in this present day. Now let's go to our first challenges on our list. So first on our list, we are going to be talking about it today, is high rate of increase in shop and kiosks. It is so unfortunate that a lot of shop owners, a lot of landlord and landladies are now increasing the price of their shop, their kiosks, making it quite difficult for a lot of people that want to establish this business to actually establish the business. Because when you look at the high rate of how shops are being, the prices of renting of a shop are being skyrocketing it presently, like those of us here in Nigeria will attest to what I am saying. Because take for example, if you go to Wuse market in here in Abuja, when you go to Wuse market, let's say let's date it back to 2020 to 2019, you see that a normal sizable shop in Wuse 2 was going for at least 2.5 million, 3 million as at of then. But presently today now, a normal shop in Wuse 2 is going close to almost 15 to 20 million naira. You see how everything is calculated. I'm just giving you an example from Abuja. The same thing is happening in Lagos. The same thing is happening in several other states in Nigeria. Because of this thing, it has become a challenge for almost everyone that want to go into establishing this phone accessory business. Because if you say, okay, let me rent a shop, and because it depends on the location where you want to establish a normal shop phone in a GSM village. Let's say GSM village, because most people will want to establish this business in GSM village. So most GSM village now, the prices there, the price for shop now, renting a shop there now has increased to an alarming rate. A lot of people are finding it difficult. A lot of people are even once the shop expire, they don't used to even renew it. They have to hand over the shop to another person, because of how most shop owners are skyrocketing the price of their shops. So it has become a very challenging part, because if you say, okay, if you have a budget of like 5 million naira to establish the business, and you have to spend almost 3 point something million to rent a shop, or you have to spend 2.2 million naira to rent a shop, and using the rest to buy goods, when are you going to recover? When are you going to pick up? You see, it's becoming a very difficult. And the thing is that in this business, location matters a lot. I think I have been keep saying this thing in my videos. Location matters a lot, because if you don't situate your business in a place where people who are going to buy your product are are staying, it will become a very difficult for you to recover your money. Because this business need location, it need where people will come buy. In fact, people should be coming there on daily basis to buy your goods. That is one thing about it. The business needs to be going every day. That's one thing. Because once there is a lack of people coming to buy your goods, you will start to fail. the business will begin to fall. You understand? So that's one of the challenges a lot of people are facing in this phone accessory business today. So now we have to go to our number two challenges. Next on our list now is competition. This is where the main yeah, the main issue is self. Because after you have suffered yourself, you have find it extremely difficult to even pay for the rent. Let's assume at the rate of how the shop are skyrocketing now, you are able to even pay. Do you know that there are still a lot of people who are already selling the same thing you want to establish there? So that's where another even challenge came, because the same accessory you want to establish, other people are already on that same phone accessory business. So competition is another main challenges on this phone accessory. No, I'm not trying to discourage discourage you from going into this business, but I'm just trying to tell you the obvious fact. If you go to most streets today now, you will see a lot of people selling phone accessory. Either the person is in the shop, or you see people arrange their goods on a wheelbarrow, going around selling it for people. So almost everywhere now, everyone is venturing into this business. So even if you try to manage to even pay for the shop at that high rate, another difficult part, as I've said it, is competition from other people who are already selling the business. But you need to stand out. That is one of the main things. You need to stand out. I'll be explaining that, how to stay stand out in my next list, because you need to stand out. You need to focus on a particular aspect of phone accessory. You don't just come and start selling everything. You don't just come and start selling the whole thing, because what if you want to sell the whole thing and you don't have enough capital to establish yourself very well, or have a very good viewing location where people can access your shop very easily? Selling everything will become it will become another big problem for you. Because if you want to sell everything, there are people who have already made names in these locations. Let's take for example, you are establishing a business in a GSM village, or in a street where others are already selling phone accessory. Because you can't just go to anyhow area and establish it. You need to situate the business where people who are already selling the phone accessory business are staying. Maybe you can just look for a corner and set up your own, or look for a shop there and set up your shop. But you need places where people are already, like GSM village. Let's just say GSM village, or Computer village, Ikeja, or Alaba International Market as well in Lagos. So you need to establish your business in this area, and doing so, challenges will be there, because you have to be competing with people who have already been, maybe these people must have been long in the business, so they know all the cons and the goons on this business. They know both the good and the bad. They know where they're supposed to hit, and they have already established a long time customers. So it will be very, very difficult, but there is a way you can stand out. And when I say stand out, I mean like you have a niche. Look for something where something that these guys are not, these people who have already established, look for something they are not selling, or look for something that people need, but maybe they are saying it but they are not taking it serious. Then focus on that their weakness. Just look for that weakness and focus on it. Maybe people used to come to their shop to look for battery, so many, a kind of battery, but they don't have it. Then look for a way to start importing that battery that they don't have. Make sure you are the only one that have that type of battery, so that when people come and they need it, they will just refer them to you. So that is the way to beat competition. That is the way to beat because if you say you want to compete with them, be establish everything, you see that you hardly see a customer coming to your side. That's just it, because these people have already built, they have become a brand, so you can't compare yourself with these people. So almost everywhere now, every street, every neighborhood you go, people are now selling phone accessories. So it has become a very big challenge. So this is how to mediate yourself on this. So I'll be explaining more on my next list. So now we are going to our next list, so that you see how these challenges and how you can be able to overcome them. So next on our list is fake product. If you go to a lot of market, phone accessory market, you see that fake products have filled a lot of places now, that it is very very hard for you to differentiate between original and fake phone accessory items. So it has become a very very challenging, because it is not good as a phone accessory business that every day people are complaining about your product. It's not good. When people buy a charger, they will go home, one day 2 day they have returned to your shop complaining that the charger that you sold to them is not good. This thing bring a lot of distrust between you and your customers. So it is very very good that whenever you are going to transact with a supplier, someone who is going to supply you goods, make sure you get a right source. And when you go there, if you are already been in the business and you understand how the business is going, you can now be able to check, because you have already understand when they give you original and when they give you fake. So you already know which is which and which is not. So always make sure to sell what is good. And even if you are going to sell fake things, endeavor to let your customers to know, so that if they are buying it, they know that this is what they are buying. But don't go ahead and sell fake item, pretending that it is original. It bring a lot of distrust. And when customers have complained about your product, maybe maybe you sell an item and the person bring the item back, maybe at that process of trying to understand what is happening, someone who came to your shop and see you exchanging a word with your customer will feel like, oh, maybe maybe you are not a genuine seller. He will have to move to another shop. So it is very very good for you to bring a good product, you understand, because there are a lot of fake items. Customer don't even know which one to go to. So it's an advantage for you if you are bringing good product, even if it's expensive. But at least make sure that if the customer have the money, let them buy it. If they cannot be able to afford the original, you can suggest the fake one, but let them know, caution them, advise them the implication of buying those fake things. That's what will make you to stand out. And this is another challenging, because if you have a bad supply and it supply you product that are fake, it will be a very very difficult things for you to sell, and it will go a long way in spoiling your name as a seller. It will go a long way in spoiling your name, because someone who a customer that have a bad experience in your shop will never come back to you. A customer that had a bad experience in your shop will never come to your shop to buy goods again. That is the thing. So these are another challenges facing a lot of people are facing in phone accessory business in Nigeria and Africa beyond today. Now let's move to the next on our list. So another challenging thing in phone accessory business today is change in trend. Every day, every minute, new items are coming up in the market, and it is making old stock to sell faster. Like now, if you stock your shop with maybe USB BlackBerry cable, you will see that presently now most phones that are reigning now is Type C or iPhone. You will see that all these new trend are making old stock difficult to sell. It's making old stock difficult to sell, especially when it has to do with the phone pouch, let's say phone case, or what, however you call it, phone case, used to cover your phone. You see that new designs are coming up every day. There are new design, especially when it has to do with ladies, because ladies love what is trending. So new trend is making old stock to to difficult to sell. That's why you see some shop, you have to buy some charger, some brand of charger, some brand of cable. It will be extremely difficult for you to sell them because those brand is outdated. Those brand are no longer trending. It's not what people want. So people are looking for what is trending, and it's another challenges facing up. So if you are not, if you didn't situate your business where you are going to be selling all these items real fast and real quick, you will see that before you waste time stocking some type of items in your shop, the trend will pass. It will become an old stock, and when people come, they will have, I need so trend, because that's what is trending. So all this new trending now is making the old stock to sell to be difficult to sell, and it's a big, very big challenge. Maybe you have invested a lot of money in those old stock, and before you know it, those things are no longer trending, and people will not want to come and buy. So even if people come, just, but it will be very difficult for you to sell them. So it's another challenges people, sellers face in phone accessory, business in Nigeria and in Africa today. So that's why I always say that location is very, very important in this business. Location is very, very important. It's, in fact, is very, very important. If you are situating this business, enable to situate it in GSM Village, or in Junction, or Computer Village if you are living in Abuja, but you have to situate the business where phone accessory market is. And when you are situating it there, like I've explained it in the other challenges, have a niche, and always make sure you are selling faster. You can use a lot of means to get a customer. You can go online, use your WhatsApp, post your items, especially new trend, post them on WhatsApp. People who are interested will contact you if they are interested. So new trend is making things making this business very, very difficult for a lot of people, because some people have stocks on their shop that are even more than a year they have not sold them, because of what, they are out of market. So you see, is another challenges facing phone accessory business, a lot of people are facing in Nigeria and in Africa. So that's for this list. Now let's move to the next on our list. So another challenges we will be talking about is rising in import costs. Like some of us who are importing our goods directly from China, the situation of dollar to naira have make importation very, very, very difficult these days. Like before you clear your goods, through the custom, through the border and all these things, it is always very, very challenging, because almost every day, prices are changing. What you use to clear your goods this month might be different from what you are going to use to clear it the next other month. So these are another challenges a lot of people are facing in this business, and that's why every day people are increasing money in their goods. There is price war. A lot of people are trying to recover the money they spent. So these things are very, very challenging, and it is what it is. So if you are venturing into this business, you need to also consider all these challenges, because presently now a lot of things is changing. A lot of things is changing. The dollar rates and the government policies are making all these things very, very difficult for phone accessory sellers in Nigeria and beyond. So that is it for this one. Then let's move to the next on our list. So another challenges, I know this one is not even, I don't supposed to even bring this one as a as part of the challenge, but it's also the main thing sef. Another thing is security and the risk. If you look at the situation in the country and the situation in Africa now, there is high level of poverty rate, there is high level of unemployment. People are now feeding from hand to mouth. So this thing have brought about theft. People now goes about breaking people's shop, breaking people's kiosks, stealing their goods and services. You understand. So security risk is another challenges faced by a lot of people who are into phone accessory business, because you might establish your business maybe in a maybe let us say in some places, and before you know it, maybe you lock your shop, you go home, in the morning you come, the shop have been burgled and goods worth a huge amount of money have been stolen in your shop. These are another challenges faced by a lot of people in this phone accessory business. So that's why I always say location is very very important, and even if you get the location, security also matters, because a lot of things is happening now. There is insecurity everywhere, you understand. So people can just wake up one day and go to your shop, break it. They have different technology now they use to hack into your shop and cut away with your goods. So it's another challenges faced in this business these days. So it is very very disheartening that you have to put so much effort, put so much finance on this business, and at the end of the day, one person will go to your shop, break it and stole everything you have stored in that shop. So it's quite unfortunate. So that is it for this list. Now let's move to the next. So another thing on our list is poor power supply. This is a very very important challenges that people need to even take this one very very serious. What am I trying to explain here? A lot of people go and buy goods, and at the end of buying them, especially when it has to do with charger, they come back home, they test these chargers, a lot of them will not work. It is very very disheartening, because when you go to some of these dealers, you buy their goods, and when it has to do with charger, you come, after negotiating with the customer, you want to test it, and you see that these goods are not working. It is very very disheartening, because sometimes you cannot be able to return these goods. It will become your loss. So it is one of the challenges about this business that have made a lot of people to even lose interest. So this is not what people will tell you, but it's something you have to expect, because sometimes you will buy a goods, maybe even a screen guard. After coming to your shop, you discover that a lot of them have broke, like especially screen guard. Screen guard is all about glass, so it can break easily. So you can buy all these things. After coming to your shop, you see that they have condemned. It's a loss, because sometimes some of these goods cannot be returned. That is the challenging part. Some of these goods cannot be returned. Some of them can be returned, but a lot of them cannot be returned. So it is your loss. So it's one of the challenges facing in this phone accessory business that is making a lot of people to be thinking twice, either to continue or to even quit. Because it's so somehow when maybe entrusted someone, a supplier, and after supplying the goods, maybe along the way, some of the items on the goods got spoiled. Some of these things cannot be returned, you understand. So it is another challenging, but at least if you can be able to mediate yourself, you can use the rest of the goods who have not spoiled to recover those ones that have not actually spoiled, recover those ones that have actually spoiled. So that is another challenging faced by a lot of sellers of in this phone accessory. So another thing on our list here is price war. People, some shop, they are bringing the price down because they want to attract more customer, thereby losing profit. Some people are adding adding more goods to their product because they feel like they have had a lot of customers, that they have had a lot of trust by their customer in them. So they will now hide the goods. So this is just the price war. That is what is going on now. Because, and what brought all this price war is competition that we have been talking about. A lot of people want to overdo, a lot of people want to outsmart, a lot of people want to show the customer that they are the best. Some will go extra mile of reducing the price of their goods. So at this junction, is mostly the customer that enjoy when this price war things is happening. Because when competition comes in, you see that a lot of people will be dropping their goods, especially when you go to a places where almost 15 people are selling almost the same thing. You see that this price war of a thing will be taking place there. Because if you come to, maybe you come to buy a wholesale, you see that the person who is going to negotiate with you would like to give you a good price, so that next time when you want to come and buy, you come to that person's shop directly. You see, so this price will have made a lot of people to even be losing. You understand? So it have made a lot of people to be losing capital, because when you reduce your price, customer will come. But the challenging part is that the profit that you are supposed to make, you are not going to make those profits, because you have already sacrificed those profits, by reducing your goods in your shop. So it's another challenges faced by a lot, because outside the competition, you can be able to set your own price, and this is what I'm selling my goods. You understand? Because if you go to market, you see that this charger, you price this in one shop, you hear this price, you go to a different shop, you see another price. I know a lot of us must have this experience, like when you go to GSM Village, you go to this shop, this one will give you this price. You find exactly the same goods, but at either a lower price or a higher price. So it's another challenging faced by this in this phone. So if you are starting this business newly, you need to understand the system. You need to have all these kind of challenges at the back of it, because it's something you are going to see. That's why a lot of people, when they come to your shop, they price a particular goods from your shop. When they left, they will not come back, because places they might go, they might get either cheaper than the price you actually give to them. So it's another challenges faced by a lot of people in this business. So it is what it is. It is what it is. So that is it for for this list. Now let's move to the next on our list. So a lot of and the last but not the least now is capital to setting up this business. There is a lot of credits to starting up this kind of business, but Nigeria here, and most especially in Africa here, lack of trust have make all this all these things very very difficult. Because a lot of people want to move higher, or maybe establish themselves higher, but lack of fund have made these people to remain where they are. Some people have the idea, they have the capacity to expand more, but because there is no capital is not there, it has become extremely difficult for the people to excel. So but if hadn't been there is a credit for all these business credits, where people can be able to have access to fund to establish themselves, is another challenge, because one will have to be in the same shop selling the same thing year in year out. There is no before the person can exist, it will take the person very longer time. Not that the person doesn't have the idea, the capacity, or the experience to establish himself more, but lack of fund has made a lot of people to remain where they are. So it is another challenges face. This is even a general problem faced by a lot of people, apart from fund access, a lot of business across Nigeria and the rest of the African country. So it's another challenges. So I think this is where we are going to drop the list today. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. If you have any question, leave the question in the comments below, and and don't forget to subscribe to Louis Mobile Tech, because in this channel we bring everything about tech and business tip. So I'm going to see you guys in my next video. Thank you, and see you on my next video. Bye bye for now.